Hanukkah Sameach. So in the short class that we have today, I was thinking of learning with you guys the piyut Maoz Tzur Yeshuati. We all sing this Maoz Tzur Yeshuati, we all sing it together. But I don't know if everyone knows exactly what the words mean. Probably not. And it's very good to learn it because this is obviously these songs that Am Yisrael sings, songs in general, nigunim, whether it's Shabbos nigunim, are always very, very deep yearnings and missing of the neshama of Am Yisrael, missing the creator of the world. And during the 6 days of the week, we're involved in kind of like fixing the world. But then on Shabbos, it's like we're just involved with romanticizing about the truth and the beauty, and that's Yom Tov, and that's what the Chachamim wrote many Zmirot of Shabbat. And the Zmirot of Shabbat are total cheshek and yearning and missing the creator. So as we sit by the Hanukkah candles, we've been learning that sitting by the Hanukkah candles is not remembering history, it's connecting to the present truth, that there's a real creator, a king to the world, that creates nature, that creates a supernature. He puts us into a body, he puts us into this natural world, so we can have bechira, we can have free choice, but it's all him. When we sit by the Hanukkah candles, we allow the miraculous truth to kind of like melt the nature that we're so stuck in, the darkness that someone could be so stuck in. And then we sing this song to Hashem. And we sing, Maoz Tzur Yeshuati, Lechana ele shabeach. Maoz means this, you are the source of my strength. Oz Tzur, you are the Oz and the Tzur of my Yeshua. You're the, meaning my salvation is around. Let me sing you a song. It's befitting to praise you because you are a real source of strength that's around right now. We're not praising what was, we're praising what is. So we're asking, Tikon bet tefilati v'sham todah nazabeh. Please build my house of prayer, which is the Beit Hamikdash. The Beit Hamikdash is called Ki beti bet tefila yikareh lechol ha'amim. V'sham todah nezabeh. When you build my bet tefillah, we will bring a korban todah. Because when Mashiach comes, the only sacrifice that will take place is the sacrifice of todah, the Thanksgiving sacrifice, things offered. Because the whole world, there'll be no sin and there'll be no darkness. So at one point, how does a human being get close to God? By recognizing him, by thanking him. So the only korban that's really going to be is korban todah. When you make a matbeach is a shechting. The tvoach is the shech. When you shech, the tsar hamenager, tsar is the Yetzer Hara, the barking tsar. When you slaughter the barking dog, which is we're talking about the dark angel, because that's what we say on Pesach. We say on Pesach, in Chad Gadya, and you guys remember, you guys are all sleeping at that point, but at the end of Chad Gadya, we have the sheep gets eaten by the cat, and the cat gets eaten by the dog, and it goes on and on and on until Malach HaMavis kills the shofar, and then at the end, Hashem comes and shechts the Malach HaMavis. So Hashem shechting the Malach HaMavis is a very interesting nekuda because Hashem doesn't kill him. Killing him would be, you're disqualified, you're no good, you're garbage, you're past, we don't need you anymore. Shechting, why do we slaughter something? In order to eat it. That means we order something in order to fix it so we can eat it. The Yetzer Hara really, yes, he's standing here and he's, getting mankind to fill themselves with ego and to forget the creator. You're right, that's his mission. But really, when at the final point, there'll be a slaughtering of that dark power where there's going to be a part of that dark power that's necessary. Just like when we celebrate Haman, we celebrate Purim, right? We celebrate Purim. And the mitzvah on Purim is to drink till a person gets so drunk that Arizal says that while you're drunk, you could say, Baruch Haman, blessed is Haman. And why would a person ever say, blessed is Haman? Haman is a wicked man, hater of man. Because we see that at the end of the day, it's through Haman that the Creator brought all the Jews together and brought about the building of the second temple. And there was a great goodness that was revealed through him despite his evilness. So when I get so drunk on Purim, I could see the godliness in Haman also. But you could see that the evil also has a spark of good in it that eventually is meant to be slaughtered Slaughtering means get to be removed the negative part of the Yetzer Hara, and there's going to be a positive side of the Yetzer Hara that we need for our identity. Otherwise, you don't have an identity. So we're asking Hashem, as we're sitting by these Hanukkah candles, you're the source of our strength. Build the Beis HaMikdash, slaughter the Yetzer Hara, as egmo b'shir mizmoch, and then we'll complete the Hallel to you, and then we'll really sing. So now, as we sit by the Hanukkah candles, we go back in history to all the times that we were exiled and redeemed, where the Creator showed us His love and His strength, and we're saying, hey, Creator, this is not past. We are aware that this is present. We're welcome. We want to feel this in the now, in our nation, in the world now. That's what the Creator wants us to do with this miracle of Hanukkah. He wants us to sit by these candles and remember that all of nature is just a godly choice. And that's just one choice. And that really the truth of the Creator is absolutely supernatural. That's the truth of our nation. We said this before. That's why our nation was all born from barren mothers, women that cannot have children, to show us that miracles is not something that we get once in a while. We're created, the Jewish nation is created in a way that in order to just live, you must have miracles. We need miracles to take us through our day, to survive our daily life. Why did the Creator do that? Because He wants constant involvement with us. He doesn't want to say, hey, here's my credit card. You'll figure it out. No, call me every time you need me. I need a miracle, Dad. I need a miracle, Dad. Okay, good. We have a relationship. I like this. Okay. So now we're going back. We're going back to the first galus of Mitzrayim. It was so hard for us. The enslavement of Mitzrayim was the first galut, was the strongest galus. Am Yisrael went from, we went from being just a little family to suddenly becoming a nation. That's where our identity was born. Mitzrayim is called Ervat Haaretz, really the place of birth. You see the mamash, you see physically Hashem puts us into Mitzrayim, that's where we're born, and we coming out as like it's Mitzrayim. Kriyas Yamsuf is like a birth, right? There was same way in a birth. There's blood that becomes a child, and there's blood that goes out. Also here, there was people going out to life, people dying. It was mamash a birth. They were bittering my life in Mitzrayim. With his great force, with his great show of love, you took us the Segula, you took the Am Yisrael out of Mitzrayim. All the army of Paro and his everyone, they all drowned like a rock in the ocean. So over here, we're going back, we're meditating here on the Geula of Mitzrayim. We're realizing, yes, the Creator put us through this galut. We needed this galus. Our becoming actually took place in this dark place. That's where we became a nation. That's where from those 49 gates of Tumah, of association that we were associated with, we go out of Mitzrayim and we get associated with 49 gates of Kedusha. We count to Omer 49 days, we receive the Torah. Unbelievable. So we realized that this darkness of Mitzrayim was a tremendous prep for us getting the Torah and becoming a nation. We see that yes, it was hard, yes, it was bloody, yes, it was difficult, but in hindsight, we could see the godliness of it. And that gives us the what we need for our foresight, to see the godliness in our life now and in our future. We need to connect to Hashem's name is Haya, Hove, Ve'yihiyeh. It's very important to connect to the past, the present, and the future, all because it's all true. What was is, what will be is also is, and what was will, because the past, present, and future is all one. In our experience right now, we're experiencing them separately, but really it's one. So we're always connecting to the love of God in the past and remembering it's not past. This is. We continue. Dvir kodsho heviani. Hashem brought us to the Beis HaMikdash. V'gam sham lo shakatati. And I wasn't quiet there either. Ubano ges vehiglani. Hashem brought Bavel, Nebuchadnezzar, Kizarim avadati, because we worshipped Avodah Zarah. It's crazy to think. You think today, if we had a Beis HaMikdash today, you think like, wow, it would be so amazing, right? Open Yechezkel, you'll be shocked. We're worshiping Avodah Zarah in the Beis HaMikdash with our backs to the Kodesh HaKadoshim, their face to the sun. Unbelievable. We don't know the design of Avodah Zarah. We can't imagine what it was. It was a Yetzer Hara that we don't have today. V'yein ra'al masachti. I was pouring poisonous wine. Kimat sha'avarti ketz bavel zrubavel ketz shivim noshan. This is talking about the experience of going into 70-year galus, and at the final 70 years, that's when the story of Achashverosh and Haman happened. Right, the Persian Empire takes over. Persian Empire was a wild empire. An empire of parties. We can't imagine this, but imagine that the king takes over and he throws a party 180 days. That's 6 months.
Wow.
It's a 6-month party. The Midrashim brings down that why did he have to do 180 days? Because he inherited his wife's grandfather's treasures. Nebuchadnezzar conquered the world. When Nebuchadnezzar conquered the world, he obviously conquered every king and he was a very vicious king, very unbelievable. So he had 1,080 treasure homes. This number 1,080 is a different discussion, very deep number. It's very different discussion. And Achashverosh, when he won all these treasures from he didn't fight for them, he didn't conquer the world. He was just showing his richness. So it took him each day he was only able to show six treasure homes. Like they were so big that it took him this exhibit. So that took 6 times, it would take 180 days to show 1,080. It was unbelievable. So the Persian, that was the empire that came in and pouring wine, unbelievable gullus. And at the peak of that, we have the Nesa Purim. Krot komat berosh. Bikesh Agagi ben Amdasa. Agagi ben Amdasa, Haman, goes to Achashverosh, says, chop down the big tree. Give me a tree of 50 amos. I want to hang Haman. That same tree became the trap that ended up trapping him. And all his gaiva, all his haughtiness and his greatness, that he thought, I am so this and I'm so that, me and the king and my wife and my kids, and he thought he was so rich. He was one of the richest people to ever exist in history. All that went against him. Rosh Yemini Niseta, the head of the Yemini of Mordechai that comes from Shevet Binyamin, lifted up. The Oyev, the enemy, Shmo Machita, the enemy you took down. Rov banav kinyanav ala etz talita. All his kids and everything he had, you hung on the tree. So now we're going back to remember the Geula of Purim. Because again, remember the Geula of Purim. Say, hey, it's not Purim, Rabbi. Why are you talking about Purim? It is Purim if you want it to be. If you connect it, it's Purim whenever you want. If you close your eyes and say, creator of the world, Purim wasn't just something you did then because Purim is you opened the window to show me who you are. That's who you are. That's really who you are now. So I'm really going to believe in it. I'm going to go back to Mitzrayim. I'm going to go back to Bavel. And obviously, the more a person learns about these Belas, the more we learn Torah, then the more you could really have a more rich experience. Because it's not just, oh yeah, God is good. I heard about it from the rabbi. No, I spent days and days reading and understanding and I had questions and I really understand that God is good. Really understand it. So now we go back. Yavanim nikbetzu alai. Then the Greek, the Hellenist Empire comes, conquering the world, wherever they would go. Amazing. They come into Israel. You know what was the king takes 70 of the scholars, and one of the things he says, translate the Torah to Greek. The Gemara reads the whole story, but then translating the Torah to Greek was like enlightenment. It's so nice, and like, look, the Torah's translated. But in truth, the Gemara said that the day that the Torah was translated to Greek, the world went dark like never before. There was a darkness and spiritual darkness that came to the world, unbelievable darkness. Because imagine that the Torah is a love letter from the creator to the creation. A love letter doesn't have in it just clear instructions. It has it in clues and codes and all kinds of, when you see the handwriting of your lover, even his handwriting for you is significant. For another person, they read it, it's like, oh, wow, a sloppy handwriting. You're like, oh, wow, it's my father's handwriting. When I see my father's notes in my book, I get so excited, because it's my father. So when the Torah is translated, it loses the father. It loses that. There's no Rosh Tevas, there's no gematrias, there's no code, there's no essence. It's just a dry religion, just like another religion. That's what they were doing. They were saying, hey, you guys have a bunch of religions? We'll make a fun of religion. No, I guess let's do religion versus religion, like Olympics, like it's all fun and games. Let's translate it and let's see who's the best. Let's see who's the smartest. Yevanim nikbetzu alai. They conquer Israel while the second base of English is around. We have a standing temple. Conquer it. They're not destroying the temple. They're here to upgrade us, to make it beautiful, to bring the temple, to make it international, for everyone. Why make a fence that only you could come here? Everything is for everyone. Everything is like today. Everything is everyone, which means nothing is everything. Everything is nothing. No one knows what they are, so nothing. Big mess, big balaga. Yevanim nikbetzu alai. Azai b'mei Chashmanim. This is the days of the Chashmanim. Chashmanim is a reference to Kohanim Gdolim. Upartzu chomot migdalai. They tore down the walls of my castle. In the Beit Mikdash, there was a section that was surrounded by a fence called the Chil, Ches Yud Lamed. Till this place, a goy could come. Goyim could also come to the Beit Medrash problems. Ki beti beit tefillah yikareh l'chol ha'amim. It's a the Beit Tefillah it's a place for mankind, but everyone, Kohanim could come to a certain place, Levim to a certain place, Israel to a certain. I can't enter where a Levi enters, and a Levi can't enter where a Kohen enters, and a Kohen can't enter where the Kohen Gadol enters. This is how it is. This is how it is. Yevanim didn't want that. They took this fence and they made 13 holes in this fence. The number 13, right, always connected to the Chanukah, Kabbalistically drawing down to 13 midos of the Kesser. The Mishnah says that later on, when Chachamim took over the Beit HaMikdash, there were 13 bowings that every time you got to one of these places that was broken, now fixed, it was a special bowing down. So now there was even a 13 more connections that didn't exist before that existed after them. But this was their goal. Let's make everything beautiful and equal and like wash away everything that's special. So they didn't pour out the oils. They impured them. They just put their, what, you're using olive oil, put some incense, put some, I don't know, make it nice, make it this, take your stuff. They were conquering the world. They were taking stuff from China, putting it here, from India, upgrading it. What was left over from the kankanim, from that one pure jug, also pach echad. Notice that it says pach echad shel shemen. Echad is also gematria 13. There's another, right, because there's achdut of Hashem, the unity of Hashem is shown to the 13 midot of the keter. All this brings us back to the Tomer Devorah, right? We're talking about Tomer Devorah about how to really reach the godliness in us and act from that unified place of the 13 midot of Rachamim. So we see that when the Creator actually deals with the world through His 13 midot of Rachamim, that's what a miracle looks like. If you don't know what does it look like when God gives the 13 midot to the world, it looks like a Hanukkah miracle. It looks like one person goes out and wins out 1 million people. There's no proportion, nothing, no nature at all. B'nei Bina, Yemei Shmona, Kavu Shirorim. So B'nei Bina, the sons of Bina, the Talmid Chachamim, the Chachamim that are called the B'nei Bina, they are always mitbonen, they're always contemplating godliness. The next year, they said that year they only made it a Yom Tov for the war. They were celebrating the victory. But the next year they had this Bina to say, hey, wait, we realized that godly light and that godly love wasn't just showing them. This is actually a light that's infinite. God wants to tell His nation something forever. He wants His nation to celebrate this forever, just like Pesach and Shavuos and Sukkot. So B'nei Bina, Yemei Shmona took the days of 8, or it's 8 days, there's also days of 8, but it's days of the 8, the great 8, the Bina, shines in. Kavu Shirorim. They make these days to make days of song and praise, because the main energy of these days is lehodot ulehalel. Because when I'm sitting by this unbelievable supernatural light of Hashem that exists in my mind, I want to bring this into my being. I want to bring this into my feeling. I want to feel miraculous. I want to feel lucky. I want to feel excited. I want to feel happy. I want to feel protected. I want to feel like in the shadow of God. I want to really, really be there, because that's the truth. How do we get there? You sing and you praise, you talk. I allow these, Rav Nachman says that emunah is something that we create through our speech. Rav Nachman was into personal prayer, not just because you need to talk, because your speech with God will actually create your belief. Because the belief could go from a potential belief somewhere in the back of our mind to go actually something that will affect my mood and affect my being and allow me to relax and allow me to sleep at night, allow me to love another Jew and to really, wow, I want this goodness to not just, I don't want a dichotomy inside of me. I don't want there to be, a great Jew living in my head, but then rest of my body is anti-Semite. I don't want to live that way. I want to live in love. I don't want to live in anxiety where my mind is living in bitachon and my mind. Why? Why is there, no, I want it to be unity inside myself. So when I'm standing Hanukkah, we're remembering by the candle what was and what is. This is through song and praise. That's the way we could take that ekuda primis and allow it to spread throughout us and affect our emotions, our thoughts, our relationships, our speech, our physics, our neurological being, mamish. We're going to finish, and now we finish the song with one beautiful, beautiful request that we ask Hashem. Right now we're in the 4th Gala. So we discussed Mitzrayim, we discussed Babel, and now we discussed Yavan. But now we're in Edom. This is actually a merging of Edom and Ishmael. The Gullus that we're in now is Edom and Ishmael. Chaim Vital brings us down. Also and we say Chasof Zaroa Kodshecha. Pick up your sleeve. When someone's picking up their sleeve, that means they're getting to work. Pick up your sleeves, Creator. Meaning, if the showing of Mitzrayim was a Yada Gdolah, you showed your strength. So we want to see your hand. We want to see your strength. We want to see your involvement. We want to see your love. V'karev ketza Yeshua, and bring close the final end of the Yeshua. Nikom nikmat dam avadecha, me'umar rashar. Take the revenge of the blood of your slaves from the wicked kingdom. So much blood saturated. The world is saturated with blood. Ki alcha alana Yeshua. The Yeshua is so long for us. Been so long. The ein ketz lime'ara. It looks like the darkness is never ending. Deche admon betzel tzalmon. Push away admon. Adam is Edom. Betzel tzalmon, in the shadows of Gehenna. Tzalmovet. Push him away to Gehenna. Hakem lanu ro'eh shiva. Give us the seventh shepherd, or the shepherd of the seven, which is David HaMelech. So the final request that we're sitting here is saying, Peter, you showed us so much who you are. We're going through the Guluses. We're with you in Mitzrayim, and we feel the love of you taking us out. We're with you in Bavel, and we feel the love of you taking us out. We're with you in Yavam, and we feel the love of you taking us out. Now we're in the pain of Edom. We want to feel your love, and we want to really, from the feeling of this love now in Hanukkah, that we're really so sure of your love. We want to ask you, please, this love should heal the now and the here, and where we are. So Yiratzon, that Hashem should give us mamash the ability to really do it, because at the end of the day, who's going to make the change? Some crazy people, 1 or 2, not more than 10. Look at the Yavanim. Chashmonaim were 10 Kohanim Gedol. Super, like imagine whatever a tzaddik you think, like triple that by, like a family of these guys, like super duper nerdy Kohanim, Kadoshim, Tzaddikim, Malachim, Aliyahim, like super duper. You have to be nuts, absolutely nuts to go out of that door and go into fight the Greek army that just conquered the world. They're there with the elephants, with their techniques, with technology. What are you, nuts? Yes, we're nuts. Normal people are not doing nothing, not helping in the world. Hashem wants people that are nuts, that believe in Him. You sit by the Hanukkah candle, say, I'm so small, I'm so nothing. And then remember what it says in the Torah. We say every day, what we say in the davening. Masata giborim beyad chalashim. Hashem, you gave the heroes by the weak. Rabim beyad matim. There's so many, you put them by the few. Tmeim beyad teorim. The impure, you gave it the impure. Reshaim beyad tzadikim. So if we look at the world in that proportion, we're few, we're little, we're weak, great, no problem. Then God's on our side. Then let's really believe the past, and let's really believe the present, and let's really believe the future. And may Hashem give us the zchut to really ask Him and to really see the goodness, and see Hashem answer every single Jew, the individual, the collective, together.